Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the crypto market recap. Let's hop into these charts, see what the story is and what it may be. And remember, if you're interested in any of the services I provide, please check the links in the description below for both the Patreon and Discord. Okay, so we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, of course, as yes, we are still long, and we'll take a look at our other long positions, which are Avalanche, Ethereum, Solana, Link, and Cardano. And we'll take a quick look at a few other coins, mainly XRP, Polkadot, and Matic, and maybe we'll take a quick look at Luna just for the giggles. And thankfully, in all our positions, we're either flat or we're in the green, and I'm not going to complain. And I do think we are basing out here for a short-term bottom to have a nice extended move higher. For me, my target on Bitcoin in the short term is anywhere from 33,000 to 34,000, okay? Pretty much this descending blue line is my ultimate target. If we do break through it, we are likely going to make our way slowly. When I say slowly, I mean relatively. I mean it's not going to get to this orange line in a day. I think it may take a couple weeks. I am still in the bias that we do have more downside overall. Okay, so if we break this blue line, we may come down it for a while, making like a wedge pattern, a bullish wedge descending, then break higher and slowly get towards the orange line. So over a couple weeks to a month or so is what I'm seeing. Okay, and then once we get to that orange line, it becomes more probable that we do start turning over to continue the overall macro trend to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of the pathway I'm seeing overall. Whether how fast or short it is, we have to see. Of course, we could just see it just start plunging down from here. In my opinion, that's not as probable. At least getting to 33,000 looks pretty probable to me before we have more downside. So, if we are going to plunge down from here, again, that goes against the actual probabilities that are, the most probable path. But of course, it is a possibility, and we have our add-on levels below these levels if that should happen. Okay, so no stress if it should happen, but most likely we'll get to the 34,000 levels, and that's where I'll be looking to close out the longs, maybe partially. I haven't fully decided if I'm going to do 100% closeout or I'm just going to partially close. It may be worth just trying to hold out and see if we can get the fuel to break through this blue line and actually make it to the orange line, and then slowly increment out the long position for Bitcoin. Again, it's to be determined, but as of right now, we're just currently watching this price action mature, and we'll see where we go from here. Going to the lower time frames on Bitcoin, to me, it looks fairly bullish. It looks like we're likely going to start bottoming out and making a move higher towards that $33,000 level. So sometime this week is what I'm foreseeing right now. Just take a quick look at this. Go paint this trend line right here. So right there, pull this down like that. So as we can see, we broke this descending trend line, and now we're currently on the 4 hour, testing it out as support, and we'll see if we have that oomph to go past 30,000, and break through this top pivot here at 31,500. And that should give us the fuel to get towards 33,000. Many retail traders were either getting more bearish down here for whatever reason, or starting to open up shorts via more leverage and margin. Not sure why. Again, that's the mentality of chasing. In my opinion, it leads to ruin. You may get one or two good trades off of that, but eventually you'll get caught up getting in too late, and then price will reverse on you too hard, and that's how you eventually blow up your account. Okay, so never chase. That's one of the golden rules of trading. Chasing leads to the end. All right, so we'll see how this goes, but so far so good, especially if we close above 30,000 for this next daily candle, which closes in about 2 hours. So still some time, and we're currently fighting around that zone. All right. Okay, so let's take a quick look at Avalanche, because it's another coin we're long, and I believe we're either flat or some in the money around here. And Avalanche is pretty it's pretty interesting. It's fighting off this fairly significant descending trend line. Okay, it's pretty significant, and Avalanche is gonna have some trouble here. All right, Avalanche is gonna have some trouble here unless Bitcoin starts having a pretty decent, nice impulse up. I see Avalanche kind of struggling here, and best case scenario, what we'll see here is that Avalanche, curls up, starts failing down, and slowly has a descending pattern that starts painting out a wedge of some sort, so something like this, because that gives you the best opportunity, the best chance to really get that fuel to break through this descending trend line and get through. Because remember, these descending trend lines, they act a lot more as like a roaming zone of interest. They have support and resistance aspects to them, but in my experience trading them, they tend to be more like nodes of interest where price will overall kind of oscillate around it, right? It'll oscillate around it, and if it finally breaks out from it, you'll have a nice snapback higher. So that's kind of what I'm eyeing for Avalanche, especially if Bitcoin decides to kind of like consolidate and range around the 30,000 mark for a couple of days. So, we're going to let this play out, of course, and we're still long it. I do foresee this getting enough fuel to break through. Okay, how high? That's to be determined. $40 looks pretty good. I think it can get back towards $50. It's definitely going to be a very high demand level to open short. So, I'll definitely keep my eye there. But $50 looks like a good overall target. Okay. I may keep it open to there if we start closing out, ADA, Link, or Solana. Like, let's say they have much larger moves, and I have a lot more, profit on the sidelines and a lot less principal exposed. Then, it may be worth keeping this open. If not, $40 is a fine target. Okay, let's take a quick look at Ethereum. So Ethereum's pretty much again following Bitcoin. Had a great bounce off of this descending trend line. So it just kind of wicked right from it, and now it's holding above 2,000. It's gonna continuously test under 2,000 for quite a while. I do think it's more likely to see this move back towards 2,300 fairly soon. So you may see something kind of like this, and then starting like a larger consolidative range. If Bitcoin starts having a big move past 3,400, then I could see Ethereum breaking past 2,300, going towards 2,500, maybe 2,600. Past that, again, that would be very dependent on Bitcoin, but Ethereum is performing pretty expected. I would not be surprised if we even have another move down to test 1850 to 1900. So do not be surprised if you see something like that. Again, these are possibly bullish patterns, bullish structures being painted. So what that means is we do want to see the price action sort of linger to the downside. Okay, we don't want it to start flushing down, breaking the pivot levels, but we do want it to start lingering to the downside because we want the smart money buyers try and get the best deal possible until the sellers give up and are like, okay, we're not selling any more to you down here. You have to push the price up now. It's time for us to start, reaping in some money, not just you getting a good deal. So that's what we want to see, okay? And that's, again, I've said this over and over, that's what separates the retail from the institutional investor, and then also just the smart money individual, the smart money player in the markets. If you can understand what a good deal and bad deal looks like, you understand that certain patterns, biases mean different things. Okay, again, we're going to go over it one more time. If it starts ranging downside, right? If it starts leaning to the downside in a controlled manner, it's a bullish pattern, so it has a bullish probability to break up. If it's going upside, being dragged up, okay, then it has a bearish bias and it's more probable to come down. It's that simple. You can break the markets down to those two theses. It is that simple, okay? The hard part is not identifying that. The hard part is staying disciplined and sticking to the plan, okay? So let's go to Solana. And by the way, in my tutorings, I help you greatly with that, in case you're interested. So Solana, again, similar to Avalanche, fighting at a fairly significant trend line, not as powerful as the Avalanche descending trend line, but this one's fairly significant. And again, what's this kind of indicating? More downside, but in a controlled manner, to where it's coming down towards significant support. And what does this paint? Just take a look at this descending trend line and then this flat ray at $38.10. What does this look like? This looks like a wedge pattern down here, right? So that's a descending wedge, which is bias bullish, so it's likely to break up. So, again, it could just start breaking up right now if Bitcoin starts breaking up, but we want to give it time. All right. If it's going to take a week or two to mature out, then you're going to see something like this and then break higher. All right. So, don't be surprised if you start seeing these prices kind of, slip down a bit. It's still within a controlled manner. What we want to watch is if these pivot lows here, so in all these charts, they all start painting these pivot lows because you had these, wick touches at major supports and then buy-ups. So if these wicks start getting lost, that's when we can be sure, okay, these structures are failing and it's likely going to go lower. Deciding upon that before it happens, well, I don't trade in certainty. The only people I know who trade in certainty are losers. Okay, you eventually are going to be wrong. You see, I'm wrong from time to time. I've been wrong, and I don't want to trade in a way where when I am wrong, I get devastated. That doesn't sound like fun, and I like to have fun. All right, so next is Link. So again, before I go away from Solana, look towards Solana to break through at some point. I actually think Solana has a lot of room to get back towards $75. That I actually see $75 for Solana is pretty likely. So watch out for that at the really small end, maybe $65. But the longer this matures out, $75 looks great in my opinion. Link. So Link, broke this structure, came down, just missed touching this major support at $5.10. Again, we want to watch if this pivot holds. So if it does come down, we'll see if it can hold that pivot and continuously start painting some sort of bullish structure that's descending like a wedge. And I would target, my current target is towards $10. Okay, possibly lower. So possibly towards this level here at $9 and change, so like $9.30. So that's from this pivot over here. All right. Again, I'm not. I do see more upside. I think that retail is overly bearish, and bad traders are trying to short it at these levels. So I'm going to be aiming for a little bit higher targets, especially since we were able to take our profits off of Polkadot and Matic. Okay, so I'll give this a little bit more room. I do see Link getting towards $10 at the least, maybe even higher towards like $11. Okay, Cardano, we came into a bit late and it's been performing great. That one we're really well on the money, I believe. Awesome. Bounce off of this support, and look how steep this trend line is. That's how fast Cardano dropped. I mean, this trend line is steep, right? And the steeper a trend line is, the less relevant it becomes. And this was pretty steep to the point where I didn't think it really would play too much of a role, but because of how fast Cardano just descended, hit this trend line and popped right up. Beautiful. I mean, beautiful. And we were able to catch a lot of this bounce. Cardano looks great to get back to 75 cents. I mean, it's very attractive. I actually think this is going to be one of our best trades in the last maybe maybe 2 months. It's going to be a really nice trade if it can play out fully. So 75 cents is where I'm, that's where I'm targeting. If I see that there's possibly more to gain from this, I may keep it open. It just depends on how much exposure I have overall to crypto. So if Solana, Link, and Ethereum are still up, and Cardano's at 75 cents, and I'm not closing those trades out, I'm going to probably close out Cardano before them. Okay, that's I want to say anywhere from like a 20th, maybe a 30% gain. So yeah. But beautiful play so far off Cardano. And again, there is room to the downside for this, guys. Okay, so if you're along in these positions with me, remember there's room to the downside on these positions. All right, though we're in the money with just about all of them, or just about flat, we are looking for these bullish structures to play out. But it's early enough to where they may need to mature more. And if they do start maturing more, again, the probabilities do favor our positions. All right. So let's take a quick look at Luna. I think I was messing with this. Oh yeah. So I was day trading this, but the day trade's been closed. So I had a short over here, and then I was targeting the bottom part here, but I had left my desk, so I didn't catch it. Damn, that sucks. But hey, that's what happens. And I pulled these fibs because I was curious to see how this would look if it retraced higher. It's actually, funny enough with Luna, it's not too bearish. Again, this is relative. Not, let's ignore that it dropped from $80 to under a penny in like 3 days. But just looking at the price action, right now, you might get some upside, right? It may break this here and get back towards this level. I'm not going to say all these numbers, the 61.8 level, which I mean, percentage wise is a massive move, right? So just let's see how much that would be. Yeah, it's about 1,000% move. It's definitely in the cards. But again, this is I would see this more as just this is for fun. Do not trade Luna if you are even able to. I know they've been delisted on so many exchanges, but do not trade Luna in a serious way, especially with serious money that you depend on, unless you know what you're doing, of course. I'm not trading it. Really, I only did 1 day trade off of it, which ended up working out. But yeah, again, very, very, very interesting chart to look at. It's just, again, another reminder of why you want to make sure you have your risk in order. Okay, you want to make sure you are making wise decisions and not being greedy. Because what breaks my heart is people who did buy Luna at less at $1, $5, $10, $20, and they watched it go all the way up to well over $100 and didn't take their profit, and now they have to deal with this. I mean, that's tragic. So you don't want to be that person. You do want to at least take some money off. That way, when stuff like this happens, and unfortunately it does happen in crypto, we see it. It doesn't sting as much. Okay. You don't think about how much money you left off the table for selling early. Just think, well, how bad would it have been if this happened and you didn't take money, right? So yeah, and again, be soft with a lot of the people that you may come across that may have been caught up in this. It's pretty rough out there, and I've seen some horror stories. So definitely don't mock people, especially they already feel foolish enough. They don't need you to pile on. All right, so let's take a look at Matic. It's one of the trades we closed a couple maybe last week. Yeah, it went pretty well, and pretty much excuse me, pretty much hit right at 74 cents, 75 cents, and immediately started getting denied. And again, it's very likely to get towards that 62-cent mark again prior to it making a move higher. I actually do see Matic making a move higher and breaking through towards 80 cents. This looks pretty probable. Once this happens, though, again, it's going to be very dependent on Bitcoin if it's going to find follow through going towards the 92 cents, or if it's going to falter off this minor resistance and break back down towards 75 cents, 74 cents. Again, this is going to be an intersect moment. Like, this is going to be that in the road. Like, are we going left or right? And Bitcoin's going to make the decision for us. All right, so we'll see at the intersection here what happens. But again, it's more probable it gets back towards 80 cents and then rolls over, unless Bitcoin is breaking past 34,000, and then we're probably going towards 92 cents, maybe even the dollar for Matic. Polkadot was actually a really good trade for us as well. I don't see it really doing much more outside of here than resting around this level. It may veer to the downside a little bit, but it had a really nice bounce, about a 30% bounce almost. It was at 20, 28, 30, yeah, well over 30%. And I think this will veer sideways until Bitcoin makes its definitive direction. Okay, until it takes a definitive direction, and this get to $14. It looks pretty easy to get there. And eventually, eventually, DOT may get all the way back up to $20. But Polkadot's structure is to come lower. Actually, I do see Polkadot eventually breaching under, $5 or getting to $5 and kind of resting there. I do see it getting really, really low. Okay, so again, this is all predicated that Bitcoin does break lower from the recent lows it's made around 25,000. Okay, and let's look at XRP and then we'll call it a day. So XRP should be sitting, yes. So XRP is sitting within this general zone. So under 50 cents, above 40 cents, we'll say, and sitting at 42 cents. Again, more demand here. I mean, this is a ton of demand. This whole green box, ton of demand. But these levels are going to be really, really big. And even if Bitcoin has a pretty big move, I don't really see much reason why XRP is going to get past 50 cents. Definitely past 60 cents. I think there's going to be a lot of resistance here. Okay. It's possible, unless something fundamentally changes with the whole SEC stuff. I don't really see Ripple or XRP really making a move past these levels. Okay, it's too good of an accumulation, of a zone of accumulation, if you're looking to buy in the long term, that I do think the demand to keep price here is pretty big. So you may see XRP here for quite a while, but eventually it does follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin has a really extended move higher, then XRP will. It just won't be as extended. We've seen over and over this past run that even when Bitcoin was running towards 62,000, 68,000, XRP had its big moves, but it was nothing percentage wise compared to Bitcoin or the other coins, because it has that huge amount of pressure from its legal issues. Okay, so let's keep that in mind if you are buying down here. Again, not financial advice. I would see it less as a swing trade. I don't swing trade XRP. I would see this more as an accumulation zone. But do be aware it can go lower. And 25 cents, another massive level. If Bitcoin starts breaking under 25,000 again and such, those are the levels you want to be looking at for XRP. Okay. All right. So I think that's everything I'm going to go over today. All right, everyone. So I hope the video was helpful, and I hope you're enjoying the service, whether you're a free member or paying member. If you are a free member, please let me know if there's anything I can do to maybe improve the service for you. And if you're a paying member, definitely let me know if there's anything I can do to improve the service for you. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon member, take a look at the channel, at the link in the Discord for the Patreon channel. It's right under the Patreon tab. And if you have any questions about it, you can always DM me on Discord. Okay, and if you are interested in the tutorings, take a look at that on the Patreon. Everything you need to know will be there, and of course, like always, you could always DM me about that as well. Okay, everyone, remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. Love you guys. Take care.